Hi, I'm Mr. Black. I'm the phys ed teacher here at Eisenhower High School, and I'm going to read Chapter 7, Supreme Commander of Soccer Balls. After lunch, we were about to go outside for recess when Mrs. Burke said, "Charlie?" "Yes," I answered. I knew from her tone of voice that something was wrong. "Is that your desk with all the things still on it?" I looked across the room, and I had left my math folder and some pencils, and an eraser, and a ruler. "Yes," I said. "Please clean them up," she said, "and we'll wait for you." I hurried across the room and stuffed the folder and pencils and eraser into the desk. It was bad enough having to waste my own recess time to pick up my things, but it was worse that everyone was staring at me and waiting to go outside. When I got back in line, Mrs. Burke said to everyone, "Rule number 3 in my empire, always remember to put things away." Everyone nodded and looked at me. Samantha Grunsky said, "Charlie always has a messy desk." "Not this year," Miss Burke said. Then she turned and led us down the hall. When we finally got to the playground, I couldn't find Tommy anywhere. While I was standing there looking, a little kid came up to me. "Charlie, Charlie," he shouted in a hoarse voice. I'd never seen him before, and I wondered how he knew my name. "Yeah," I said. "Who are you?" "Brady Bernhardt," he said. "I'm in first grade. Will you tie my shoes?" I looked down at his feet. Both of his shoelaces were untied and were dragging on the ground. Sure." I knelt down and double knotted the laces like my mom taught me so they wouldn't come undone. "Thanks, Charlie," he said in his corky little voice. It was strange that he hadn't asked his teacher to tie his shoes. "How come you asked me?" He turned and pointed to a bunch of second graders were playing. He said, "You do it," he said, and then ran off. Little kids are weird. Just then, Tommy ran up to me bouncing a brand new soccer ball. "Hey, Charlie, how's Miss Burke?" he said. "Worse than I thought," I said. "She's already shot Alex with her exploding fingers." Tommy groaned, "Poor Alex." And I said something stupid about where this new kid Hector is from, and Mrs. Burke frowned at me, and she made me clean up my desk while the whole class waited to go outside for recess. I'm doomed. It sounds like it, but here's the worst part. She put me in a seat right in front of Samantha Grunsky. "Oh no," he said. Then he laughed and tossed the soccer ball up in the air. "Guess who's in front of me?" "Who?" "Darren Thompson. And he's even bigger than he was last year." "Uh-oh," I said. Darren Thompson is the kid of school who's acting all friendly one minute and the next minute he's giving you a wedgie, which is what he did to me when we were in second grade. He pulled on my underwear waistband so hard that it totally stretched out, and I could barely fit it back into my pants. I never wore those underwear again. "You've got to watch out for him," I said. Tommy threw the soccer ball to me. It was shiny and new and white with blue spots. "Hey, where'd you get this?" I asked him. "Found it in the gym," he said. "The new gym teacher must have ordered new ones this year. You want to play a game?" We found some other kids and chose up sides and started to play. It was a close game. After my team scored its second goal, I noticed Hector, the new kid, standing off to the side watching. "You want to play?" I called out, waving at him. He just shrugged. His shoulders didn't say anything. "Hey, wait a minute." I called to my team. "Hector wants to play." Everyone stopped and stared at me. No one knew who Hector was. "He can't," Sam Marchard said. "The teams won't be even." I looked at Hector, the new kid. He shrugged again like he didn't care, but I could tell that he did. and I felt bad for him. It wasn't his fault he was new and no one knew him. No problem, I told Sam. He can play for me. I turned to Hector and pointed down the field. You're on the team shooting at that goal. It's okay, he said. I don't have to. Go ahead, I said. I don't mind. There's just a little time left. Hector, the new kid, took off his glasses and put them in his pocket, then ran onto the field. I stood on the sideline and watched. The ball went back and forth, up and down the field, but no one scored. Kids passed the ball to their friends, but no one passed the ball to Hector. I guess they hadn't noticed what I had. Hector, the new kid, is really fast. Whenever there was someone chasing the ball, Hector got to it first. Then he would pass it right away to a kid on his team. When it was almost time to go, someone kicked the ball out of bounds to me, so I caught it. Hey, look, said Sam, pointing towards the gym. It must be the new gym teacher. A man in a dark blue warm-up suit was marching onto the field. Mrs. Burke was with him. When they reached us, the man blew his whistle. Everyone over here, Miss Burke called. We all ran over. The man stood there with his arms folded like he was a general in the army. I was holding the new soccer ball. It wasn't quite white and shiny as it was before. The man stared at me. May I have that, please? He said. I handed it to him. He put it under his arm, and without saying thank you, listen up, fourth graders, he said. I'm Mr. Schuler. Gym equipment needs to stay in the gym. We needed a soccer ball, said Tommy. Mr. Collins always let us borrow them. Mr. Collins isn't here anymore, and I'm your new physical education teacher, and I'd like to keep track of the new equipment. Before you borrow a ball, you'll need to ask permission from me. You have other equipment for the playground. Tommy said, yeah, but Mr. Schuler held up his finger for Tommy to be quiet. It was a big finger at the end of a big arm on a big body. Excuse me, he said. We all stood there. Most kids looked down at the ground. Mr. Schuler wasn't anything like Mr. Collins. No use of gym equipment without permission, he said. Does everyone understand? We all nodded. Okay, he said. I'll look forward to seeing you in class. We nodded again. There was nothing to say to the new gym teacher who didn't let you play with the new soccer balls. Let's line up, said Mrs. Burke. It's time to go in. Why can't we use that soccer ball? I asked her after Mr. Schuler went back in the school building. Mr. Schuler is doing his job, she said. If his job is keeping soccer balls away from us so we can't have fun, I thought, he's really good at it. Right then and there, I gave Mr. Schuler a new name. General Schuler, Intergalactic Supreme Commander of Soccer Balls. That's it.